Welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host, Martin Mayama, and today we're going to be looking at assets and liabilities. So, before we can get into the details of what an asset and what a liability is, I do have one question for you. Is your home an asset or is it a liability? So before we can actually get into the discussion if your house is an asset or not, let us look at the definition of what an asset is. So an asset is defined as a probable future economic benefit that is obtained or controlled by an entity as a result of a past transaction or event. Now I know what you're thinking. That definition is too long, too many words, right? So let us break it down into a more simple and understanding definition. An asset should only be something that is bringing money into your pockets. And inversely, a liability is going to be something that takes money out of your pockets, right? So let us look at the different types of assets. So here, I've written down the main different types of assets. So we have what we call current assets and non-current assets. So when you're looking at current assets, these are assets that are going to be converted into cash or can be converted into cash within a 1 year period, right? The first thing we can talk about is cash. So cash itself acts as an asset. So you are able to buy property from cash. You are able to actually pay your debt from cash. So cash is actually the most liquid form of assets. Then you can have what we call accounts receivable. So accounts receivable, this is actually money that you are owed, right? Customers have gotten products from you and they're supposed to pay you back. That's what you are calling accounts receivable. However, you should understand, anyone who has done business is going to tell you, not everything or not everyone actually is going to pay you back when they owe you money, right? Or are they going to pay you back everything? They can give you some percentage to that debt, but not everything. That's why in that definition, there is the part for probable, right? So it's not definitive that what you're having as an asset right now is going to lead to an economic benefit, right? Then we have what we call short-term investments. So short-term investments, these are simple things that you can actually invest in within a year, right? And it's able to generate cash. So let's say if you're talking about real estate, you can buy a house, fix it up, you flip it. You're going to get some equity out of that property, and that is what we are calling as a current asset. Actually, we should also not forget inventory, right? So inventory, this is property that you own, right? This is your product. Let me give an example. A simple example you can think of is, let's say, farmers, right? So farmers, let's use potato farmers. Potato farmers are going to produce their potatoes, right? And they're going to keep them in the warehouses, like a whole lot of potatoes, and they need to convert those potatoes into what? Into cash. So that is their inventory. So inventory can be used as assets, right? So inventory is an asset. Now, what are non-current assets? So non-current assets, we are looking at assets that should or is not going to be converted into cash after 1 year, right? So you can own these properties. For example, if you're looking at properties, you can own the property, but it's going to be owned for more than what? A year. So let's use real estate once again. Simple examples, right? You can buy a house and you put it on rent. You are not going to sell that house. You are going to hold it for a long time, but it's still going to give you value. It's going to bring money in your pockets from the rentals. It is also going to be paying down your mortgage. So also, it's actually acting as what? As an asset. In fact, if you're actually looking to buy a new house or you're trying to understand how we can actually buy a new house, I have a video on that. I'm going to leave the link in the description. You should check it out on how you can do real estate as a beginner. All right. So we can also talk about long-term investment. So obviously this is more than 1 year, so it is a long-term investment, and long-term investments are going to also act as what? As assets. You can look at property, plants, and equipment. So equipments, you own machinery, that acts as what? As assets. Let us now look at liabilities. So a liability is something that you owe. It represents your financial obligations or debt. So there are mainly two types of liabilities, and these are short-term or long-term liabilities, right? So if you look at short-term liabilities, we have things like credit card debt. So this is debt that you actually acquire or you get from using your credit card. Usually you're going to be paying for it like monthly, depending on the type of credit card that you have, right? Then utility bills. So utility bills, we're looking at things like gas bills, you have garbage collection bills. So those you owe because you are expected to pay for them, right? Like you can't be using your electricity if you don't pay for it, right? That would be criminal, really. So you owe ZESCO that money for you to actually use electricity, right? Then short-term loans. Obviously, short-term loans, when you get a loan, it's a debt you owe someone. So that is now a liability because you have to pay back, right? And mostly you are going to pay back with interest. So it is getting money out of your pockets. So a loan, short-term, since it is short-term loans, these are going to be what? A liability. Then long-term liabilities, you're looking at things like mortgages, right? Mortgages, this is just a debt that you owe on your property, on your house. Either you bought house for living in or you bought the house for real estate business. Otherwise, a mortgage is what? Is a liability. It is taking money out of your pockets. You have to pay back with interest. Student loans, this is so common, especially for medical students. You are in medicine, you are doing your 7-year career as a medical student. You find that you actually accumulate a lot of student loan, and at the end of the day, once you are done, you start working, you have to start paying back your student loans, right? Car loans, these are also debts you are owing a bank. Now this can be for a long time. Mortgages, they go up to like 30 years, some 15, some 20, just depending with the agreement you have made with your bank, right? Alright friends, this is it for today. I hope the video was helpful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like the video, share, leave a comment in the comment section, and always don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.